Gerard is the feisty, loud, just, he's in there when he gets excited. He starts, gets really animated. I love that. And Chris is just more the reserved and kind of like chimes in. But when I sat with them, they were basically just, giving me their vision about, trying to make a statement in today's society. And, because they got their finger on the pulse of what's happening right now, in the country, they just really felt that this project was something that was needed. And because they're addressing things that are currently happening, it's right on the money. I play the character Eli slash Tarasai. Um, he is, when we first meet him, we find him um, on the plantation um, because we're playing with the illusion of time. We don't know how long he's been around. Is it a couple of months? Is it a couple of years? But when he meets Veronica, he understands that she's a notable figure in terms of the advancements of black social consciousness and just black liberation. And I think when he sees Veronica, he sees a way out of this situation. And so he will do everything and anything he can to help her and help himself get out of a very, very dire situation. I think anytime there is there's a fight for justice, until the thing that people are fighting for comes to pass, there's always going to be room for stories like this. I know people might say, oh, we've seen it all before. It's like, well, if we've seen it, then why are we still having these issues? If there are no issues, then there won't be any need for these kind of stories. But if you've got amnesia, then we need to consistently remind you and put it in front of you so that at some point we can come to a place where we can resolve our differences and move forward in the way that we have built this nation to be and how the rest of the world sees us. So I think it's absolutely important and necessary that we tell this story until we get or we see the change we want to see. I think just from the inception of just me being African and, to understand the history of, of slavery and, its origins and where it started and, from the shores of West Africa and to find themselves here, on these plantations. For me, it's kind of like full circle um, in the reverse. Like I am African and I'm here in America and as Tongayi, but as Eli, the character, I'm working on a plantation as a male who's been enslaved. And for me, just being on a plantation, number one, is surreal, but it makes history that much richer. And the story of, the forefathers that much more sacred. And you begin to appreciate the gravity of what transpired and who these men and women were, the conditions that they lived in, what they had to endure, and yet through all of that still had some resolute hope that all was going to be well. I found that to be the last puzzle that I needed to complete my character. Janelle, what can I say? She's a superstar. If she's not that, she's one in the making, that's for sure. Um, I mean, it's been really great to see just how passionate she is about this project, about the story, um, and just I think with everybody to see uh, the emancipation of people of color, particularly black, but also brown, but the mentality of liberation, and to see us on equal footing with everybody else in the country. It's been magic to behold and to see her zest and desire, you know, to be a part of a story, to be a cog in this massive wheel, to say, hey, I've played my part. So, I just love how she's been able to delve into this fearlessly, you know, um, and just give us a sublime performance. I'm excited for them. Them being first-time directors. I think it's wonderful how they've been able to navigate, because I think number one, the enthusiasm has definitely permeated onto the entire set. You know, Gerard, getting hyper excited while the film is still rolling, and it's like we haven't cut. You can't get too excited yet, But to see that, just gives us that comfortability to know that, okay, you know what, we're on the right track, and how Chris is very much hands-on, like he's kind of like the technical guy. Chris is the hype man, but to see the way that they work, it's almost like they got one brain, but they know exactly what they want, and they get that.